So I was scrolling through Twitter last night, laying in bed, looking at all the Star Wars news coming out of Celebrations Japan, and I want to give you some of my thoughts as we go. Now, I do have to say this because it does make a difference. Please hit that like button. Let's jump in to all the news. Now, here is the first part that I was going to share and react to with you, but it's already been taken down because apparently you have to be at Star Wars Celebration to be able to enjoy these things, which is absolutely stupid in a digital world and age. It's already been leaked out there. Well, we were going to look at the Mando Grogu trailer. Instead, I'm just going to have to recap what I remember from laying in bed. I do remember watching it and going, okay, it's action-packed. There's a lot of stuff in there, but it's really hard to get super excited about this movie. I just really don't quite understand really what it's going to be. It was described in the description as basically Din Djarin is going on a mission for Sigourney Weaver's character, who we saw revealed in the trailer, who is in a rebel jumpsuit as a pilot. And so it starts, the trailer at least, with Mando going and kicking some butt with some snow troopers, which appears to be on an AT-AT. I mean, it's interesting, right? I don't hate those things, but it just feels like a very weird movie. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be. We see Grogu using some force powers in some kind of funny ways. We see him swimming through the water. I don't know what this movie is going to be. I will say the trailer looked fun, but that's the point of trailers, is to make things look fun. And if this Star Wars movie is simply just going to be a fun Star Wars adventure that people can enjoy, I'm not necessarily upset at that. It doesn't look like there's anything crazy. We did see this picture of Zeb. Where is it? Let me pull it up. We did get this image of Zeb and Grogu and Mando walking on the base, which we already knew Zeb was going to be a part of it. So it's nothing crazy to say that. We also got this image of Rhoda the Hutt. And I saw some people commenting that like, why are there a skeletal structure in a slug? And it's like, did you not pay attention at all to any, like Jabba had arms, guys. Like, yeah, he looks like he's been hitting the gym in some kind of gladiator arena of some kind. And I don't love the character choices. I wasn't a huge, like, massive Clone Wars fan. So for the people that are, this is kind of maybe pulling them in. But I don't know. I'm still going to go see the movie. But it's not like this is something that made me super excited. I wasn't sitting there going, this is amazing. It is kind of funny to hear the oohs and ahs of all the people in attendance. I know some of that is just when you're a part of a crowd and everyone else is cheering, you kind of want to cheer too. But does this really get you super excited? Are you, and maybe if you saw it, first off, let me know if you actually saw the trailer on Twitter. Let me know that down below. And if so, like, are you super excited for this? Or are you just kind of like I am, which is, it doesn't really move the needle, but I am glad at least, and this is really my takeaway. My main takeaway from the whole thing is I'm glad they're focusing on movies. I think there's 10 movies in production right now. But that also, like, the only one that I have any confidence in being made is this one, because it's already wrapped filming. Like, it's going to come out. It will be released, and it's coming out May of next year. And then that brings us to the next announcement to be a little bit of a surprise, where we had Sean Levy on stage talking about some of the rumors that have been, and he announces that this new film that they're doing, Sean Levy with Ryan Gosling, is entitled Jedi Starfighter. And let me see. I think I saved it. Yeah, here's the clip of that. Let's take a watch. This one hasn't been taken down because it's on the actual Star Wars Twitter. And this is all we got. This is all we got of Jedi Starfighter. We don't know anything else. We don't know who's writing it. We don't know anything about the plot. We don't really know what's happening. You could hear a lightsaber ignition at the beginning of this. Is this like what was supposed to be the Rogue Squadron movie that got turned into this? I will say the fact that they've announced who it's with gives me a lot more hope, or at least gives a lot more credibility that this is something that is actually going to be happening. It's not just an announced Taika Waititi movie or a James Mangold movie or whatever the trilogy is going to be, right? The fact that they're bringing in a new actor to play a new role gives me at least a little bit more credibility than just, hey, there's something being worked on, right? And that's usually what happens. These things get announced and then nothing happens. So it's really hard for real Star Wars fans, not just people that kind of get pulled in with hype all the time, to sit back and go, this isn't that exciting. Until there's actually filming happening, until we have more information about who's writing it and more of the idea of what the movie is going to be, there's no reason to get excited. It's just to get our hopes up, to get it taken away again. But I will say, out of the movies that have been announced, this one seems promising, other than the fact that it's 5 years after the rise of Skywalker, and I really hope it's not just a setup movie for the things they want to do with Rey so that they can fill in the time gaps. I really hope it's not that. I really hope it's something set in the Star Wars universe that is just not to do with the sequel trilogy at all. I think it would be a major problem and a major fail if this is just kind of a bridge movie between what's happening and what Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy's movie is going to be, and so on and so forth. Ooh, here we go. I can show you, I'm just going to show you a few clips. I found a trailer that's still up. I'm not going to play any of the audio because I don't want this taken down. And if this gets taken down, I'll just have to trim out this segment. But here is the trailer you can see that's starting. This is the one that was leaked, that was taken down for copyright. You can see the snowtroopers, Mando breaking in, and it kind of just goes through this whole like one cut sequence all the way through the inside of this AT-AT. They blow out. There it is, falling off. It looks like we're on Hoth. Here's Sigourney Weaver in a scene with Grogu. So this is all of what I've said is already going to be happening. Here's the scene of Grogu swimming that I guess got people really excited. I don't know. This gives me major like the cover of the Nirvana album vibes. No, I'm not going to Photoshop Grogu's head onto that baby. But if you're a 90s kid like me, you know what I'm talking about. I'll link it down below if you want to go watch it. Like I said, I'm not going to play the whole thing because I don't really want this video taken down. And even if it is, I'll just trim out that section. Let me know what you think down below. This is some of the news that I've seen already. And there might be other things that have been talked about in other panels. I'm not really combing through everything at Star Wars Celebration because I think a lot of it really isn't that interesting. It just isn't. It's a lot of hype about really nothing. And so that's kind of where we're at. We'll see. We've got 2 movies in the next 2 years. We got a movie coming out next May, and then the Sean Levy movie with Ryan Gosling supposedly is going to start filming this fall, which we don't even know much about it, but is then going to come out in 2027. So we got 2026, May, 2027, May. It looks like they're going back to this yearly release, which would probably then make me think that the Rey movie with Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy is going to be coming out in 2028 of May. That would be my guess, but there's still things like the Lando movie, Taika Waititi, and so many other things that they've said are in production. Again, my main takeaway is I'm glad they're focusing back on the movies. The only way for Star Wars to become relevant again, the way it used to be alive again, the way it used to be, is to come out with solid theatrical releases. That's the only way, because even shows like Andor that I think are absolutely fantastic don't really move the needle when you're talking about the grand spectrum of Star Wars. A lot of people don't watch it, even though a lot of people love it, which is interesting. It's really polarizing. And if you want me to weigh in on all of the news on the lead up to season 2, I'm probably going to do that, maybe even in a live stream or something like that coming up before we have the release of season 2. Guys, thanks for being here. And if you haven't checked out my rewatch series on Andor, I think you'd really enjoy it. Click the playlist right here and you can get caught up on all the big moments leading up to season 2. I'm pumped about Andor, way more excited about that than I am about these things. But that's just my opinion. Would love to hear yours down in the comments. Guys, thanks for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Remember, the Force will be with you always.